we begin, I would like to take a moment to recognize all of our Hall of Famers who are in attendance tonight. Would all Hall of Famers please stand for a round of applause? Thank you guys for all you have done and continue to do for ASA USA Softball. After tonight, this elite group moves to 386 people, and we are proud to honor them for their commitment to the sport of softball. Now, everyone, please welcome to the stage ASA USA Softball President Phil Gutierrez.
Thank you, Dooley. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the house. Looks good. Glad that we can have so many of you here to honor 8 of the best that we have, to join the other best of the best that are already in our Hall of Fame. These 8 inductees that we have tonight are here because of their achievements and what they have provided for us in the past to get us to where we are today. Still number 1 in the USA, still number 1 in the world. I want to congratulate each and every inductee for tonight. Your hard work, your dedication, and your devotion to our game is why you're here. And we're going to reward you with the most elite reward that you can have as a softball person. And that's induction into the National Softball Hall of Fame. Also want to thank the families, the loved ones, the families, the friends, the ball players that you played with, the coaches, all the administrators that help all these games go by. Thank you for what you've done, and have a good time tonight. I'm going to pass it on. People like me don't have to stand up here and take all your time. So I'm going to pass the podium vote back over to Cody so we can continue our festivities for tonight. Before I do that, though, please join me in thanking Cody and all those that helped her put this event together for you, because I think it's a great job. Thank you, Cody.
Thank you, Phil. All right, our first inductee for the National Softball Hall of Fame was a highly respected official from Springfield, Oregon. Ask anyone in the Northwest and they tell you that Bonnie Anderson was considered the premier umpire in the area. Umpiring from 1974 until 1998, Bonnie's achievements go far beyond the playing field. Bonnie umpired in 29 ASA USA regional tournaments and would go on to umpire in 5 additional national championships. In 1995, Bonnie broke into the international scene at the WBSC Junior Women's World Championships in Normal, Illinois. She also served as an umpire at the 1982 National Sports Festival and the U.S. Olympic Festival in 1984. While her umpiring resume is impressive, her off-field work is just as outstanding. Bonnie became the first woman umpire-in-chief for ASA USA Softball in 1981 and established a top-notch training and education system for Oregon umpires. Sadly, Bonnie passed away in January of 2012, but to this day, her military style of teaching continues to groom umpires in the Northwest. Tonight, Bonnie becomes a member of the ASA USA National Softball Hall of Fame now and forever. Here tonight on her behalf is her dear friend Karen, who will be accepting the award on her behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Karen Meeks.
and my friend, Bonnie Anderson. She was the premier umpire in Oregon, the Pacific Northwest, and beyond. She was a pioneer for women umpires, a mentor and clinician and teacher to hundreds of men and women throughout the Northwest. This might be just a hair repetitive, but it won't be long. Some of her more notable accomplishments, but not all, include 6 ASA national tournaments, including a national sports festival and a U.S. Olympic festival, and being the first woman umpire ever to represent Oregon in a national tournament, and she umpired the championship game in that tournament. Excuse me. World tournament as an International Softball Federation umpire, 29 ASA regional tournaments, 58 ASA state tournaments, 20 years in the Pac-10 conference, which is now Pac-12, as an NC2A umpire, including 5 championship assignments. She was the first from the Northwest, man or woman, to work a college World Series. 9 years as UIC for the state of Oregon, state, regional, and as of tonight, National Halls of Fame, and National Indicator Fraternity. 2 words that best describe Bonnie are professional and classy. Her umpire uniform was always spotless, shirt and pants pressed with sharp pleats, cap blocked perfectly, and blindingly shiny shoes. Bonnie was a very colorful umpire on the field, with her legendary loud voice and total game control, make no mistake. Though she was not power hungry and she did not like to eject players. Her total game control on the field was a little bit in contrast to her real life personality, which was rather timid. But she stepped on that field and she was in her element. She preferred to work with players instead of tossing them out of a game. Once during a game, a male player got real excited and got right in Bonnie's face. "You show me where it says that in the rule book. I know that's not right. You show me." And she just let him spout a little bit. She looked him square in the eye and said, "I am the rule book." And she was. She could quote chapter and verse, and one of her many certificates is from an All-America Umpire School for rule knowledge expertise, 100% and 95% of all the people who attended. Always wanting to be better, Bonnie attended 4 ASA national umpire schools and 2 All-America umpire schools. And we in Eugene, Springfield, and all over the Northwest were the recipients of all this wonderful knowledge that she gained. As a pioneer for women umpires, Bonnie felt a lot of pressure. She is quoted in the newspaper as saying, "Deep inside, I knew because of the fact I was a woman, I would have to work 10 times harder than a male official to be accepted as an umpire. Not as a woman umpire, but an umpire. I really don't want to be designated as a woman umpire. I'm no better than my partner out there. It doesn't matter if they're male or female. We're both partners in blue." And she was very hard on herself. And in the same interview, she says, "One of the major weaknesses I have is I try to be perfect. And when I make an error or feel I've messed up, I'm very hard on myself." And she was. Bonnie was the consummate professional, but she was also very fun-loving. And those of us who got to see that side of her will always cherish the memories. She accepted prestigious awards with the same graciousness that she displayed when our high school association awarded her the Big Shoulders, No Boobs certificate. Bonnie will be remembered for her love of teaching, and she was the finest clinician in Oregon and the Northwest. In the early years, she was known for her one-woman clinics, traveling hundreds of miles, staying up half the night with the local UIC discussing philosophy, rules, and mechanics, then conducting clinics all day long after a couple of hours of sleep. With the wealth of knowledge she gained on the field and in the umpiring schools she attended, Bonnie founded the ASA Umpire Mechanic Schools in Oregon, as well as the Oregon ASA Umpire Fraternity, and she mentored high school umpires from 1979 to 1998. When Bonnie left umpiring and was no longer teaching and mentoring, we all felt a huge loss. Her enthusiasm and dedication were, and still are, very much missed. If Bonnie were here, she would congratulate the other inductees. She would thank the selection committee and Mike Wells. She would thank her early mentors, John Ford, Noni Bryant, and Ken Larson, her local commissioner of 24 years. She would thank Rex Brown and the national umpiring staff, particularly Bill Humphreys and Ron Jeffers. She would also thank her dear friends Phyllis and Sharon for being here tonight. After 25 years of umpiring men, women, high school, and children in slow pitch and fast pitch at all levels, Bonnie's induction fulfills a goal she shared with the sports writer in 1981. It is a dream, she said, to be in the National ASA Hall of Fame. She also wanted to be remembered as one of the best to ever work the game. I'm certain that Bonnie is watching over us tonight, pleased that her goals have been met. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, and congrats again to Bonnie. Our second inductee of the evening is from Center Reach, New York, and is the 35th men's slow pitch player to be honored. In a time where teams played fewer than 100 games a year, John Davide was a staple of the county sports softball organization. Known as an intense competitor, Davide was well known throughout the men's major slow pitch world as an outstanding shortstop and a feared hitter. Many teammates, coaches, and opponents often referred to him as the best home run hitting shortstop in the game. He left little to doubt, often hitting anywhere from 70 to 100 home runs every year that he played. John was a member of several ASA All-Tournament and All-American squads while capturing numerous tournament MVP titles throughout his career. His playing accolades didn't stop at the major slow pitch level, as he continued his playing career throughout the Masters and Senior softball divisions. Tonight, John becomes a member of the ASA USA National Softball Hall of Fame now and forever. It is my pleasure to bring to the stage Hall of Famer John Davide.
little bit. I would like to first congratulate all the other inductees, past and present. There are many events during the course of a person's life which defines who he will become. My marriage to my childhood sweetheart, my children, and my grandchildren. Playing baseball in college, meeting and making lifelong friends, being a teacher that touched the lives of hundreds of children, coaching baseball at a Division II college, and deciding that the game of softball would be my passion. The road that took me here today has been a long and winding one, like a song. But because of that, I have met, played against, and with some of the finest players and people in this wonderful country. No player receiving this prestigious award stands alone. Without great teammates, sponsors, coaches, and of course family, this could not have happened. There was a time I thought my time had passed, and my coach and mentor, Doc Lenahan, passed away. I really thought there was no connection or help to be even considered for the ASA Hall. Which brings me to the many thank yous to the people who made this possible. First, to all my teammates, whose level of play elevated my game to new heights. And to my coaches and sponsors, especially Doc Lenahan and his family, for believing in me. How I came to play for Doc on county sports is quite a story. Doc was always looking to improve his team. He heard that Chuck Schilling of the Boston Red Sox had recently been released and playing softball out east on Long Island. So Doc went to see him play with the intention of asking him to play for county sports. As the story goes, while Doc was getting out of his car, he heard the announcer say, "Home run, John Davide." Before he got to his seat, he heard it again. His quote to his son was, "Who is that little fat guy?" The rest is history. Thanks, Doc, for everything. Another huge thank you goes to my teammate and friend, Don Cladabo, who told me to apply for the ASA Hall. So with the help of my other lifelong friend, Steve Barkin, I collected all my softball material and sent it in, which brings me to the Hall of Fame committee, and especially Mr. Henry Pollard, who spoke on my behalf. I can't say enough in the way of thank yous to you and the Hall of Fame committee. And finally to my family, my wife Madeline of 46 years, who has watched me go out the door to play too many times to count. My son John, who was a great player and a high school coach and understood a father's passion. My daughter Janine, who watched games and came to love athletics. And of course my grandchildren, JD, Aiden, and Ella, who I love dearly and have become such a big part of my life. And finally, the ASA, for making this incredible honor, which culminates my softball career. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, John. Congratulations. Our third inductee of the night is someone that we all know very well for his efforts in promoting our organization. Andy Dooley has a storied career with ASA USA Softball, beginning in 1984 when he served as an at-large player rep for Piedmont, Virginia ASA. 10 years later, his commitment and dedication to the organization helped him earn the title of commissioner and helped lead the association to one of the most prominent in the region. Along with his local accolades, Andy has made an impact at the national level, serving on the ASA USA Board of Directors as the Eastern Territory Vice President and the President of ASA USA Softball from 2009 until 2011. Since 1992, Piedmont, Virginia ASA has held several international events, including national championships and the USA Softball national teams. Andy is also extremely active with the Special Olympics program in both Virginia and on the national level, and he helped establish the ASA Special Programs Committee. Tonight, Andy becomes a member of the ASA USA National Softball Hall of Fame now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andy Dooley.
I had a 7-hour ride from Virginia to Kentucky. I had a lot of time to think about it. Sit back and relax. It won't be long, I promise you. Thanks to everyone for attending this evening. Especially a big thanks to the Hall of Fame committee for accepting me for this honor. I'm very humble, thankful, and excited to accept it. I'd like to say congratulations to all the other inductees. Let me don't forget, I need to thank my family. There are quite a few of them here. I can probably miss some of them maybe. But first I'd like to start off with my wife, Brenda. Lord knows at the time she's missed me being old. I'm going to tell you a little story about that. I got a call from one of the past presidents who asked me one night, said, Andy, would you consider running for president of the ASA? And after I was shocked that they didn't even think I could do that, I said, well, it's another equation to this. Her name's Brenda, and she's not home. She worked the second shift, and I worked the first shift. Folks, we had a great marriage. Someone told me someday, Andy, you're going to cross paths. It happened right after I retired. She looked at me one day and said, don't you have something to do? So I finally got myself occupied. But Brenda, as she asked me that night when I told her what I'd been asked to do, she says, well, how long do you think you'll be gone? I'm just proud of you. I said, I really don't know. I can only gauge it on the previous president. Maybe once a month, maybe twice. She said, well, I know you want to do it, and I'll support you. So I get a lap. Hell, a little dog Smokey didn't know me. I wasn't home at my night. He barks when I come home. But anyway, she's been really supportive, and I can't thank her enough. Honey, I love you. Sister here, Georgia Bulldog, and they didn't do too damn good today. Dolores is here, her daughter Rita, her daughter Brittany, her son Darren, and his son Carter, and one of my great friends back home, and our husband played on the team with me, is Kay Orange. And then I've got another niece sitting back in the back, waving her hand, Lori. And we've got a pretty good little softball player coming along in the program, Megan, and her dad, Brad. Now, before I move on, let me say what I've been able to accomplish. I couldn't do it without the good people that I have together. And that's all throughout the state. I say that I truly mean. I tease all of us, Mark is coming up here shortly, about Northern Virginia. Anything close to Washington, D.C., I don't have a lot of kind words to say for them. That people on that hill up there that makes our rules we have to go by. But it's been great. Henry has been a really great commissioner to work with. I think we've got a tremendous program in Virginia. We keep working every day to make it better. So thanks to each and every one of you. All those national championships and stuff we hosted, I couldn't do that if I didn't have good people. And I mean, I could walk off and feel really comfortable it would be done correctly and be done at the best level it could be done. But for me, from a little boy from Taylor's Mountain, Virginia, small town of Bedford, I couldn't believe I'd have come this far and achieved so much. Softball was my life growing up, and now I'm getting inducted to this great Hall of Fame. My involvement as a player, coach, player rep, and I say this part very strongly, very limited umpiring, then as a commissioner, been on to be president of this great organization. What a ride. As most of you know, I spent a lot of my time involved in volunteering Special Olympics at a local, state, national levels. I've been the chairman of the Special Program Committee for 10 plus years. And we just got through doing a golf tournament this afternoon. We've been doing it for some time now, and it's a way for us to generate funds to help make those events possible. But I couldn't do it without the membership of that committee. So all of them that's in this room, I'd like for you to stand and let the people see who actually gets the work done by helping that Special Programs Committee. Craig, Ray, all of you, stand up. You work very hard. I just want to say thanks to you again for what that committee does. But we've been able to partner with an international fraternal organization. As most of you know, I spent most of my life being a loose member. And we probably raised over $1 million to help go to Special Olympics tournaments and other things that go back to the local level to help our programs. And we continue to do that. So I ask you, when you see me trying to ask you to give a little money, give from the heart. What you can give, every bit counts. Enough said about me. I want to thank you again for this recognition. I want to leave you with this. I want you to know that somebody's watching all the time what you do for this game. 32 years ago, I was sitting there thinking, now what would be such an honor to receive that? Don't ever forget that somebody's watching you. And don't think it's going unrecognized. Folks, we've got to keep an eye on our players and our coaches. Look around this room. A whole lot of young people in here. We need to start passing that along where I know everybody knows, and we don't forget about John and the good players. We don't let them slip through the cracks. Good umpires. So I ask you to think about that. What a great honor it would be to be recognized. I don't know how you can be recognized in the God. So I'll say this to you in closing. Thank you once again. God bless each and every one of you. God bless America.
Thank you, Randy. Congratulations. Our fourth inductee for the 2015 Hall of Fame class is not only an intense competitor, but also a true legend of the game. An icon in the softball world, Sue Enquist has been a driving force for the sport at all levels for nearly 4 decades. Her resume alone speaks for itself. Enquist has 3 ASA USA All-American titles, 5 national championships, 5 gold medals as a member of the USA Softball Women's National Team, and 3 as a coach of the program. Perhaps her most notable accolades came during her time as the head coach of the UCLA softball program. With a 27-year career at the helm of the Bruins, Enquist compiled an 887 to 175 to 1 record and 11 NCAA national championships, while producing 15 USA Softball Olympians and 65 NCAA All-Americans. Beyond her role as a coach and a player, she is highly regarded as a clinician and advocate for softball. A true legend of the game, Sue continues to instill her passion and excellence to players and coaches all across the country. Tonight, Sue becomes a member of the ASA USA National Softball Hall of Fame, now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Sue Enquist.
my dear friend Gregory down there calls that the walk-up song. So, puts a little hop in your step. First of all, I want to say to each and every one in the room, the one thing that we share in common, we're from all over the country. We have all different kinds of duties and jobs and passions, but we have one thing in common, and that is the love for this game. And for me to stand up here and receive this is just a thrill. I honestly can tell you that when I got the call, it was so incredibly moving and exciting for me. Before I share with you some of my thoughts, I want to say first thank you to our VIPs at the table tonight. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be recognized. I want to thank the ASA Hall of Fame. And I want to recognize just a special shout out. Because I'm biased, I first want to own it. I'm biased, so my biases are going to come out. Thank you to Southern California ASA. Thank you for always including me, always being there throughout my career. My connection with Southern California ASA was predominantly as a coach because I'm so old. When I played, we didn't have it down in the town that I grew up in. I have a special thank you to Lori Ivy for always being an advocate. So thank you, Lori Ivy. You have always had one eye, both eyes on the student athlete, and your passion is one that I've always appreciated. So thank you to Lori Ivy. I want to thank all of the people that I got a chance to reconnect with today. It's kind of weird, it's almost karma, like, okay, Enquist, you get your paybacks, but I have bumped into more umpires today. You know, you're retired, you don't feel that anymore, that worry, and I've got more umpires coming up going, I don't know if you remember, I umpired your game, I hold my breath, like, oh, I hope I was appropriate, right? But it's great to see all of you again. To the fellow Hall of Fame inductees, and an opportunity when I got the letter, I couldn't wait to learn more and more about all of you. I want to say congratulations to you for your success, but mainly for your success over time. There are many one and dones, but there are very few that have sustained it over time, and your excellence is humbling for me to be in this Hall of Fame with you. I'm going to embarrass her, but I'm going to single out my dear friend, my colleague, my teammate, who actually was out, had to step out and take a call when we announced the other Hall of Famers in the room. Could we just one moment indulge and recognize Hall of Famer Gina Vecchione is in the room. So Gina, thank you. Thank you for your support. I'd also like to recognize my East Coast family. The Budettis are here, so thank you to all of you for your support throughout the years. So thank you. I had an amazing foundation. I was raised by a military father who literally lived the world black and white, a World War II veteran, two-time Purple Heart, that literally taught me that success comes in baby steps. I had a mom that was a nurse who literally taught me to fly. I was brought up in a time where girls were not treated fairly, but in my family, I was never taught to regret anything, but only to take opportunities when they came to me. I've lived a blessed life. My brothers who taught me how to compete, my brother Bill's 11 months older than me, he is the big brother that taught me how to compete. He reminded me the game doesn't really know what sex you are. Go out there, play hard, when you fall down, be the first one back up. My sister, who had such a great active conscience all the time, I'm indebted to her because she taught me that to be kind in your success and never forget where you came from. So I had this wonderful foundation of my mother, my father, my sister, and my brother. But that's not really enough for someone to be able to have success. You need to have a framework in order to be able to have organization and instruction come your way. I got to UCLA not because I actually played softball. I got to UCLA because I played on the boys baseball team in high school. I came on the heels of the rule, Title IX, a federal mandate that allows girls to have equal opportunities, but I played on the boys team. That got me to UCLA. And I met someone there, my coach Sharon Backus, an ASA Hall of Famer, who was a great champion. And she is the first person that taught me about organized excellence, about how you don't necessarily have situational greatness, but you have to live it every day. And I'm indebted to Sharon Backus, who was a great Ray Breakhead. And it was through Sharon Backus who reached out to another ASA Hall of Famer, Ralph Raymond, and to Bill Simpson, the owner of the Breakheads. And Sharon had called him up and said, hey, I think I've got somebody here that might be good enough for the Breakheads. The Breakheads were going all pro that year in the mid-70s. And so they had a brand new team. And they, well, we'll check out Sue, we'll take a look at her. And I didn't make the first pass. Wasn't quite, I didn't quite have the numbers. And so the door opened again, and I went out there, and I'll never forget, Sharon says, hey, she can hold down center field, she's got an arm, you know, she'll put the ball in play. And the one thing she can do, she can bunt, and she doesn't strike out very much. And so that was the recommendation. So I got the chance to go back there, I went out there, and my first 3 at-bats, I struck out every single time. And I was just this little surfer from San Clemente. I didn't really know what I was getting into. They'd never even heard of Breakheads. I really was a surfer by trade. And John Stratton, who was coaching the Breakheads at that time, because I arrived at the Breakhead organization 24 hours after Ralph Raymond had a heart attack. And so the assistant coach was taking over. And he put his arm around me and the game was over, and I'm thinking, they're sending me home. I'm going home, I know. I'm not good enough for this organization. And he says, you know what? I've never seen anybody look so good swinging so poorly. And I knew that moment that this is where I wanted to be. This is where I wanted to stay. These people know how to think like a winner. They know how to speak like winners, and they know how to act like winners. And I said to myself, I'm going to stay attached to this organization because they do it right. And I learned so much through Sharon Backus, through John Stratton, and through Ralph Raymond and Andy Van Etten. And I'm indebted to them because what I did is I just copied their blueprint. I copied everything that they said that we needed to do as ball players. I learned how to respect the game. I learned how to not worry about who's in the other dugout, who's across the other town. I learned how to do things right. I learned how to focus on getting 1% better every day because of people like Sharon Backus, because of people like Ralph Raymond and John Stratton, Andy Van Etten. But people aren't enough for a person to be successful. You have to have an organized framework around those individuals, an organized framework around those teams to be able to create the best conditions in the world to perform the best of your ability. ASA is the organization that's the foundation to global softball. It was this organization that set the tone and set the standard and started the national team program and sustained the national team program and got those Olympic medals. You've got to get the talent, you've got to have the framework, but you need the programs and the association to be able to build that and to be able to sustain it. And as crazy as our world is, and we've got lots of organizations, and we've got lots of naysayers, and we've got lots of negative, the thing I love about this game that we all share is a love for the simplicity of what this game demands. And ASA understood that. That no matter where you are, you're going to learn to compete at the highest level, and we're going to pick the best of the best. And it was through the Breakheads that I'm indebted that I got to wear red, white, and blue. It is the athlete's greatest accomplishment is to represent this country. That does not happen without the strong foundation of a framework of ASA. And then it became ASA USA. And we can get caught up in the monikers, but the bottom line is this is what I know. This game, those coaches, and those teammates I had an opportunity to play with. I played along the best of the best. I mean, folks, I played behind Kathy Aronson and Barbara Ronaldo. I didn't get a fly ball for all summer. They were so good. I got to play with Kathy Aronson, Barbara Ronaldo, Kathy Strand, Gina Vecchione, Doc Richardson, and then so many kids I got to coach. But all I did is I copied the blueprint of my family foundation, the framework of my coaches, and to be in an organization that created the conditions for us all to reach our full potential. And for that, I'm indebted. And as Gina said to me, Sue, this is our Cooperstown. This night is our Cooperstown, and the fact that I get to be in this with my fellow inductees, I am completely overwhelmed and forever indebted. On that note, thank you so much for everything and including me in the Hall of Fame.
Our fifth inductee for the 2015 Hall of Fame class has an impressive career in the ASA USA softball umpire program. Mark Ingrao began his umpiring career in 1974 at the age of 16 in Falls Church, Virginia. 5 years later, he joined the Fairfax Softball Umpires Association and kicked off a career that spanned 25 years. His umpiring credits included 2 Central Atlantic Regional Slow Pitch Tournaments and 6 national championships, including the first Men's Masters 35 and over tournament in 1985. He then worked his first of 4 Super Slow Pitch National Championships in 1990. His final national championship assignment came in 2002 when he umpired the Slow Pitch Championship Series. Ingrao has also several accomplishments as an administrator for the Central Atlantic region, including serving as the Metro Washington, D.C. Deputy Umpire-in-Chief from 1989 to 2004. Tonight, Mark becomes a member of the ASA USA Softball National Hall of Fame, now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Ingrao.
Well, thank you, Doug. And I want to know who put me behind Sue. Sue, congratulations. Let me extend my sincere congratulations to all my fellow inductees tonight. I especially want to congratulate my fellow Virginians. Commissioner Andy Dooley, who is and always has been an umpire's commissioner. As president of the Central Atlantic region and ASA, you afforded me every courtesy and professional opportunity one could ask for. You were instrumental and supportive of my ascension to the Central Atlantic Regional UIC position, and Andy, we worked well together, and I will always appreciate your friendship and your trust in my abilities. To Charles Moss, it was a pleasure and an honor to have someone of your experience and passion on my Central Atlantic Regional staff. Congratulations on your meritorious award. I'm truly humbled and honored for this acknowledgement, and I want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for this unbelievable recognition. I never thought when I started umpiring baseball at the age of 16 that I'd be standing here today. So the story begins when I was 16 years old. I grew tired of dealing with the parents of the Little League team that I coached when I was 15 years old, and I wanted to stay involved with the sport. So I gave up coaching and I took up umpiring, and I fell in love with it. And you see, I believe God blesses each one of us with special talents, and for better or for worse, I think He blessed me with good judgment, umpiring training skills. Now, unfortunately, that's a talent that I couldn't monetize very well. A couple of years into umpiring, I recruited my brother Mike, but he didn't stay in baseball very long. He soon transferred to ASA slow pitch because, you see, you could make more money at less time and no equipment as an umpire in ASA slow pitch. Being a quick learner, I followed suit, though, 3 years later. And that's when my umpiring skills began to improve, because I joined ASA. You see, I had the fortune of umpiring in a region that was led by Henry Pollard, arguably the greatest clinician in the history of ASA. He taught our Central Atlantic clinic every year and allowed me and the fellow umpires to challenge the rules of the clinic. And several rules were changed as a result of our hours of discussion. Henry, you gave me my first start in many ways. You chose me to work 2 of your regional tournaments and selected me to work the finals of both of those tournaments. You mentored me when I became the Central Atlantic UIC and continued to challenge me until the day I retired. Thank you. When Henry was elevated to the National Deputy UIC position, Bob Savoy, Henry's successor, was the one who lit a fire under me to be the best umpire I could be, because you see, and not many people know this, Bob said, you're a good umpire, but you're never going to be as good as your brother. Nothing like a little sibling rivalry, right? To make one better. And I decided at that moment I wanted to be one of the best umpires in ASA. So my umpiring journey began. I worked those several tournaments for Henry, and then got my first national tournament break working for Bob in the men's 35 and over. And I received an excellent rating from Bob Savoy. It would be 5 years until I got to the next break, the one I would hope for the most. And that was to work a super national tournament. Because you see, that was the highest level of softball in the world. And I knew that if I could work there and be successful there, I would reach my goal of being one of the best. As it turned out, it would be the first of 4 super national tournaments I worked, all under the supervision of Bernie Profado, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, who arguably was the best tournament UIC in the history of ASA. Bernie taught me how to handle the best softball players in the world. And it must have paid off, because I had the fortune to work the play to first base in every game, every final game. And you see, you can have skill to do that, but more importantly, you need to know how to manage people. And Bernie taught me how to manage people. Shortly after working my second supers, I was accepted as one of the first 25 slow pitch umpires to obtain the International Softball Federation designation. I had obtained my goal, or so I thought. You see, Henry and Bernie and Bob taught me how important it was to be good at your craft, but more importantly, urged me to give back to the sport by sharing all that I had learned with up-and-coming umpires. And they believed that would make a positive impact on an umpire's career and make ASA better. So I started training new umpires and had the fortune of being an association IC for 18 years, and then was elevated to the regional position and to the national staff and taught clinics for 7 years. That was the greatest thrill of my career, is to be in a position like that. Now, I have many people to thank for the umpiring success in this Hall of Fame achievement. First, to Jack Mallett, who nominated me for this award. Jack, you and I had moments. We had many moments. But once you realized that I was in it for the long haul, you became one of my biggest supporters, and I thank you for that. To Bob Savoy, who was my mentor at Regional UIC, as I mentioned, and challenged me in many ways throughout my career. After my father died, Bob was like a father to me. He always mentored me and wanted me to be a better umpire and be a better UIC. He urged me to run for the regional UIC position in order to give back to ASA. That meant a great deal to me, coming from him, and it was one of my most fulfilling positions. Bernie provided my brother and I one of the greatest thrills as umpires, to be the first brothers to work a men's super national together. Mike and I worked the championship game together, and I thank Bernie for that. To Kevin and Craig, my former national staff colleagues, you accepted me as one of your own at a very young age, and we worked well together. I will always treasure the time we taught clinics and ran tournaments to help make ASA the best it could be. To my brother, you followed me into umpire, and I followed you into wrestling officiating, and because of our loving sibling rivalry, we challenged each other and ultimately made each other better officials and umpires. Thanks for being supportive, particularly when it came to umpiring at UIC. To Lou Al Bowers, arguably the shortest and funniest clinician I know. You are a class guy, and you are a terrific colleague on the staff, and more importantly, you supported me in ways very few people will ever know. Thank you for your unwavering support. And to the special people at my table tonight who came to see me, to my lifelong friend Walt, I learned competitiveness and athleticism from you, during our younger years which have served me well in my adult years. To my adult friend Bill, who constantly shows me how to compete and taught me how to win with humility and lose with grace. To my friends Joe and Alan, you guys were outstanding students and teachers and became fast friends. And you show me every day the reason we get into this business. It's all about relationships. And to John, you're the poster child for giving back, and you show me the value of that every day. And finally, a special thank you to all of you, those who I worked tournaments with, those who attended clinics that I taught, or tournaments at UIC. I took something away from each and every one of you, and you helped me be a better UIC, a better umpire, and a better person. Thank you for your friendship.
Our next inductee for the 2015 Hall of Fame class hails from Lenexa, Virginia, and has fostered a lifelong commitment to ASA USA softball. A cornerstone of umpiring in Virginia, Charles Moss Sr. began his career in 1977 when he attended his first ASA rules and mechanics class. 2 years after attending his first class, he was appointed to the Central Virginia ASA staff as an Eastern District Commissioner and umpire-in-chief. Not only was Moss active at an administrative level, he also continued his career as an ASA USA umpire. His dedication and commitment to the game helped launch his successful umpiring career, and many honors have been bestowed upon him. In addition to umpiring at 10 ASA USA National Championships and 1 International Softball Federation event, he is a member of the ASA USA Umpire Medals Program, and he's a member of the National Indicator Fraternity. Moss is also a member of the Central Virginia ASA Hall of Fame and the National Senior Softball Hall of Fame. Charles also has a strong commitment to senior softball and has played a major role in the success of that program. Tonight, Charles becomes a member of the ASA USA Softball National Softball Hall of Fame, now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Moss.
Good evening. Executive Director, State President, Director Martin, Porter Warren, and Chair of the Hall of Fame Committee, members, Hall of Fame Committee members, inductees, and guests. It is truly an honor and a blessing to be inducted into the ASA National Softball Hall of Fame. Congratulations to all the inductees, and thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee, Commissioners, UICs, and special friends for your recommendation and support. Thank you to my family who has always encouraged and inspired me to work hard and be the best that I can be. Many of my family members are here tonight, my 3 sons, my daughter, and their respective spouses, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, 3 of my 12 grandchildren, and my best friend, my wife, Barbara. Many of you who know me also know that many of my wedding anniversaries are celebrated at a softball event. Thank you for all of your love and support for 54 years. My success in softball is due to the help of the various individuals that I would like to take just a moment to mention. The late Frank Taylor, who appointed me to the staff as a district commissioner. The late Ingrao, who assigned me to the Olympic trials and many other events. The late Max Wills, for allowing me to participate in 5 national championships in Alabama. R.B. Thomas and Lester Leonard for starting me in the senior softball program. Commissioner Tony Laws and UIC Phil King of North Carolina for inviting me to many senior championships later this weekend. Director Craig Crest for his support of senior softball and for giving me the opportunity to serve with him on the senior summit. The national UIC, Kevin Ryan, and the national staff for helping me to achieve so many of my goals. A very special thanks to my very close friend, Henry Padilla, for encouraging me to attend national and advanced school and for opening so many doors of opportunity for me, which in turn allows me to open doors for others. He has supported and motivated me in so many ways. Thank you, Henry. I would also like to thank the ASA softball as a whole for the experience and accomplishments. Through softball, I've learned many things that apply to my life daily, such as leadership, management, supervision, respect, and forgiveness. The admiration I have for ASA softball is forever. Last on my list, but first in my life, is my thanks to God. All this would not have been possible without God's mercy, grace, and blessing. Thank you, God, for your love, joy, and peace. Thank you, and may God bless all of you.
Our next inductee is a highly respected fast pitch pitcher who made a name for himself at both the national and international level. In an era of iconic men's fast pitch teams, Steve Padilla was a driving force from the circle. Starting out in the men's Class A division, Padilla's California team claimed the 1982 national title while he earned an All-American honor. Once the word of his pitching spread around the country, Padilla made the jump to the men's major division and never looked back. Joining the California Kings in 1983, he would earn his first men's major national championship the following year, helping his squad win 10 straight games en route to the title to earn MVP honors. Padilla also made a name for himself on the international scene as a member of the USA Softball men's national team that claimed the silver medal at the 1987 Pan American Games. He also competed in 5 U.S. Olympic festivals. Once his playing days came to an end, Padilla continued to play a role in men's fast pitch as a coach in the national team program. He served as an assistant coach for the 1999 men's national team at the Pan American Games in Winnipeg, Canada, and at the ISF World Championship. Tonight, Steve becomes a member of the ASA USA Softball National Hall of Fame, now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Padilla.
the ASA and all they do, and the ASA National Softball Hall of Fame Committee for their work during this whole process. It's obviously the biggest honor you can give a fast-paced softball player, and I'm just honored to be joining such an elite fraternity of coaches, players, umpires, and all those before us that have defined this game. So just thank you for that honor. I also want to congratulate my fellow inductees. It's a privilege to be sharing the stage with them tonight. I'm especially happy and honored to be going in with Michael White. I played with and against Michael most of my fast-pitch career, and I can tell you he's truly deserving. And believe me, the playing with part was much better than the against part. So, you know, just those of us that have played this game, this great game of softball, we're extremely lucky to be associated with an organization like the ASA. They do so much, they spread so much athleticism throughout the country, and just thank you for all you do and for this amazing night. So first, I'm joined with a lot of friends and family that came with me tonight. I'm blessed with 8 brothers and 5 sisters. Yes, Dan, there are 8. So, and I have many of them with me tonight. I even have friends from Oregon and all the way from Huntsville, Alabama. So first, my brother Tony and his wife Sherry are here tonight. They had 3 daughters that played travel league ASA throughout the years and excelled in their own right. My brother Chris, who is just a couple years older than me, so we grew up together, beat each other up. One I admired and tried to emulate, you know, throughout my whole life, with the exception that he's a Ram fan and I'm not. So with that, my brother Dan Sadler, who made the trip from Oregon to be here tonight. And then my friends and family, my friends from California that surprised me last night, that came in last night, Mike and Kim Sonberg. And Mike was actually the first guy to ever catch me when I first started, so he was there when I was one-hopping in the dirt and throwing it off the rafters. And Mike is affectionately known as 5 throughout the softball world. There's a story behind that, and we'll share that later. So thank you, 5, for all you did with my career early on. His brother Terry and Tony are here from Huntsville, Alabama, and they came in today. They made the long trip today, so thank you so much. Also, my son Nick is here, and Nick, he was at his first softball game at the ripe age of 10 days old. You could do that back then and get away with it. He's here tonight, and my other son Craig is here with his wife Anna, who are getting ready to celebrate their first year of anniversary coming up shortly. And Craig was also at a U.S. Olympic Festival at 3 months old, so it was kind of in the mix there early on. So when I first got the call, like many others, I was speechless. I remember being overwhelmed with emotion. You just don't expect that to happen to you. I first started playing fast pitch, like many others, following friends or family around the ballparks, and like a lot of people tried to pitch on the sidelines and see what you could do. Once I played my first game, I was hooked. But it wasn't until I really got a up close look at a men's major level game where I was just in awe. I was in awe at the speed that they threw the ball, the movement they could get on it, and I was actually amazed that someone could get that thing. But I knew it was what I wanted to do. So my plan was simple. I was going to practice, I was going to learn, and I was just going to try to get better every time out. Never expected more than that. It seemed the more I practiced, the luckier I got, because I was fortunate to get pulled up through the ranks by some of the best teams that were playing at the time. The California Kings out of Merced, California, with whom I won my first major title with. The Winnell brothers out of Santa Rosa, and then Seafirst Bank out of Bellevue, Washington, just to name a few. So to have been part of softball when it was at its peak was just truly awesome at that time. I must say, though, my biggest thrill was to be named to a U.S. national team. Just to to don that Team USA uniform and play for something bigger than yourself is something I'll never forget. So, like many others, softball became a major part of my life, and it was a family affair. All the weekend tournaments, the travel, and as Doug and I were talking about earlier, just the friendships you make through the years. And those friendships stay with you. And believe it or not, many of those friendships are umpires. So, especially the ones that call the low strike. I love those guys. But I wouldn't be standing here today without the support group. You know, I think Sue mentioned it earlier. You know, just the positive influences around you, and they were with me throughout my whole career. Family, of course. Probably most of all, my wife. You know, she's my rock. She sat on those hard bleachers all those hot summer days, and those cool Santa Rosa nights, never complaining, but always supportive. So she's really the true champion in our family. And I dedicate this honor to you. So it's a recognition that you don't expect. It's something that you know, you just try to go out and compete. ASA gives you so much on and off the field that it's incredible. I won't forget it probably forever. And so I just want to say thank you. In closing, I want to kind of reiterate what Doug said. My name is Steve Padilla, and I'm in the Hall of Fame now and forever.
Our final inductee for the 2015 National Softball Hall of Fame has a storied career in fast pitch, mostly in my home state of Iowa. One of the most respected pitchers in the game, Michael White put his teams on the map on both the national and international scene. A native of New Zealand, White spent time as a member of their men's national team before coming to the U.S. to begin his playing career in the men's major division. White's impressive resume includes 9 ASA USA All-American titles and 3 men's major fast pitch national championships. White also has a long career with the USA Softball men's national team program, beginning in 1995 when he earned a silver medal at the Pan American Games in Mexico. In his 11 years as a member of Team USA, White helped guide the U.S. to 3 silver medals in the Pan American Games and 1 bronze medal at the ISF World Championship. He continued to help the national team program as a member of the coaching staff for the women's national team and is also a member of the ISF Hall of Fame. He won't admit this, but I actually got hit off with it once. Currently the head softball coach at the University of Oregon, tonight Mike becomes a member of the ASA USA Softball National Hall of Fame, now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael White.
Okay, so the bad news, I've got 8 pages. The good news is double spaced and 16 font. Now you see it, right? Okay, so congratulations to my fellow inductees, and thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee, and especially to Warren Jones, who submitted my name for consideration for this tremendous honor. It's about the people. I've been blessed to play this game back when it was a very popular game in this country. As a young boy in New Zealand, growing up playing softball, I only dreamed of one day playing in the United States of America. A place where Steve Austin, remember him, $6 million man, Hollywood, bigger than life for us, Farrah Fawcett, I thought she was pretty hot when I was young. Trans Am's Corvettes, I actually had got our own Corvette one day, and I have a story about that later, which I won't share here. And Gridiron, as we call it in New Zealand. Those are iconic to America and things that I only dreamed about seeing. So how did I get into this game of softball in tiny New Zealand? A land of majestic beauty, flightless kiwi birds, meat pies, they're the best, rugby, and by the way, New Zealand beat Australia today, world champions, yes. Always good to beat the Aussies. Cricket, stock cars, netball, 3.5 million people, 40 million sheep. Okay. And as my good friend Kirk Packingham constantly reminded me, when men are men, the sheep are nervous. So how did I come to pick up a game that was only played by the Yanks? Well, it was through watching my family play the sport. And I got to New Zealand through the Navy and the servicemen coming over. And my parents picked it up. My father Jack, my mother Nairi, my sister Sharon, brothers Kevin and Peter, they all played the game. Although we're not financially well off by any means, my parents still supported my sport addiction because I was addicted. I think I went to school to play sports, not really to learn anything else. But it did allow me to excel in sports as a youngster. I started out as a shortstop, believe that or not. But after watching the 1976 ISF World Series in New Zealand, it was a funny time. It was a tournament that was complete with streakers. You remember those, right? We had apartheid demonstrations going on. It was crazy. It was the South Africa was playing in it. And there was a monsoon that washed out the finals. And only the Kiwis could come up with a way that they could lose to Canada, lose to the US, and still claim tie champions. I don't know how they did it, but they found a way to do it. But seeing firsthand ASA Hall of Fame legend, Ty Stofford, New Zealand's own legend, Kevin Sticks Hurley, hook it up for 19 innings in a game, it just mesmerized me. Kind of like Steve, I was hooked. At that time, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do what they were doing and make the ball move. I wanted to be like them. And right then, I wanted to be the best in the world. Kind of big dreams from a little boy from a place down under, the down under. Fast forward a few years, I'm now a naive 18-year-old boy playing New Zealand and making an 8,600-mile trip at 18 years old to Sagamore, Michigan, and where I stayed with the family hosted by Art Gillis. What a culture shock that was, I'm telling you. Ordering my first hamburger and fries at Wendy's, okay, and not exactly getting my order, you can probably understand why, right? Driving on the wrong side of the road, okay, using funny green money, quarters, dimes, and pennies instead of colored money, 50 cents coins, 20 cent coins. It was all challenging and different. But you know what? I loved it, especially the hamburgers. I think I put on about 20 pounds or so. It's about the people. Looking back now, the next 27 years of my playing career were a blur. Almost gone to blink of an eye. There have been many forks in the road of life for me. And to quote Yogi Berra, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. So why would I came to a fork in the road, just won the ISF World Championship with New Zealand, and why would I jump countries? Why would I go play for the USA? To tell you the truth, I don't really know. But it was in God's plan. And I took that fork, and I took that road, and good thing I did, because I would never have met Kathy Aronson. Kathy Aronson got me to Oregon to be an assistant coach, and ultimately I became the head coach. So I don't know what the plan was, but I took that fork and just ended up for me in Oregon. And I'm definitely blessed. We're never quite sure what fate has in store for us, but I do know this. Everything happens for a reason, and everything is what you make of it. As my good friend and catcher Mark Sorensen once said to me, Whitey, you've had more clubs than Jack Nicklaus. At the time, I thought that was funny until I noticed he was right. He was right when my name was listed in the record book as having made All-American 9 times with 9 different teams. It's about the people. I would not be out here tonight without the help of all the people in my life, the sponsors who have given so much to the game, for little more than a trophy, a good time, and a huge amount of pride. To Art Gillis, Joe Gibson, Carl Smith, Kurt Beckingham, the Aurora Booster Club, Ken Upstein, Rod Peterson, Ted Waite, Les Siegel, the Decatur Pride Booster Club, Rodney Bray, Pete Baselli Jr., and Bob Nidek. A great thank you, a huge thank you for not only supporting my playing career, but hundreds of other players as well. There have been a great number of catches in my life I've been fortunate to throw to. Catches such as Mark Sorensen, Sean Giffover O'Brien, Tim Wall, Randy Burnside. These are all great catches that I was able to throw to, and it was so much fun hooking words against hitters and having them on my side. It was so much fun. And of course, a huge thank you to all the players that I played against. There's just too many to name. To the managers who are talented enough to put up with our team antics, and from whom I've taken so much from to develop my own coaching style and help to develop the players at the Ducks. Tom Goss at Bakerfield, who introduced me to the Hard Ass Gun Club. That was interesting. Kurt Beckingham, who not only helped me to develop my hunting skills, driving snow and ice for the first time. That was a trip going from Bakersfield, California to Cedar Rapids and seeing 15 inches of snow. How to go ice fishing without fishing poles. Figured that one out. Ski through trees, believing they were 90% air. But also helped me, and I'm very proud of this, become the first member of my family to attend and graduate with a college degree. Thank you, Kurt. Bill Pfeiffer of Aurora, a true gentleman who respected the game so much. Steve Andrews of Telegrams, who gave me my first Babe Ruth moment. We were playing Decatur ADM in a national tournament with Dave Scott throwing BBs. And if you know Dave Scott, he threw hard. Didn't quite know where it was going sometimes. But anyhow, we made a throwing error when he threw first. He threw it underhand, and the thing went straight up and came straight down. Runner on. Then, characteristically, he walked somebody. Then Steve Andrews is on deck. He looks over the dugout and he goes, "Boys, take your shoes off. This puppy's over." And we're right, you know, this is going to happen. So, the first two pitches made him look silly. He just swung and missed, and you knew he was going to swing for the next one. And it must have been divine intervention, because he hit that thing, and I still don't think it's come down. Home run to center field, just like Babe wrote it. Just an incredible moment. Another manager, Gail Kurtz of Pinkville, the first guy I'd seen watch 4 football games on 4 TVs at the same time and not hearing who won. Can you say spread? The late Russ Boyce, the guy with so many one-liners, he'd always helped keep the game in perspective. One of his favorites as he came out to the mound, "Whitey, you ain't got nothing on it but your hand." Or, "Whitey, if I had your money, I'd burn mine." Just never know what was going to come out. But what he did know, though, was how to manage a team full of world-class players with huge egos. John Becker was another who saw how little things can make a big difference in this game, and I picked up a lot from him. Pete Turner, as USA manager, probably had the toughest job of any of my managers, as he was the last national team coach that I played for, and had to break it to me that all I really did have on it was my hand. And lastly, the most emotional manager of them all, Danny Brockett. Just a tremendous person and someone that cared for his players as people first. It's about the people. To the fans, the wives, the umpires, the volunteers who have made it possible for me and every other player, Hall of Famer or not, to play this great game of fast pitch. We all owe you a huge thank you for supporting the game that has literally become my life. I owe so much to so many. It's about family first. I didn't realize this early in my career, but so often happens, we have that aha moment, that moment where we realize that it's not about you and your softball career. It's a moment where priorities are put in order. It was 1997, I was pitching in a national championship game in front of a huge crowd. When I gave up a home run that all but sealed our elimination from the tournament, I was despondent. I was crushed. I'm not sure what made me do it, but I looked around the stands, and above the third base dugout, I saw my family. My wife was seated there, along with our 3 beautiful girls. They were dressed in their team tops, with the number 19, my number, and my name across the back, white. They were cheering like you're crazy, like just get up and run, and they're cheering, go daddy, go daddy. And I thought, you know what, that is what it's really all about. There are much more important things than playing softball, winning national championships, losing national championships, and it's about the family. So for me, that was a huge moment for me, and for the rest of my career, I pitched with less of a burden on my shoulders. I try to illustrate that to my players at Oregon now, that they just get so wound up about winning and losing, when there's more things to life. Thank you so much to my wife, Lisa, daughters Nairi, Kenzie, and Sydney. I'm so proud of what we've all accomplished so far in life, and are about to accomplish as well. Lisa, I love you. And thank you for all your understanding and support over the years. As my Lady Ducks team already knows, you are the true Coach White. Thank you for this tremendous honor.
What a fantastic evening hearing stories and memories from years of outstanding play and commitment to softball. Let's give our 2015 Hall of Fame class. And now it's my pleasure to announce the 2016 Hall of Fame class that was determined by our Hall of Fame committee during this afternoon's meeting. The members of the 2016 class include fast pitch players Jenny Finch, Harry Heroyan, Peter Meredith, and Tom Hendricks. In the non-player categories, in meritorious service, Ken Erickson, John Nelson, sponsor Terry Peterson, and meritorious service, Nick Reniason. Congratulations to these 8 individuals who will be inducted at next year's council meeting in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Congratulations again to our class of 2015 and our newly announced class of 2016. And thank you to everyone for attending tonight's banquet. At this time, I would like to invite all 8 honorees here tonight back towards the stage for one final round of applause and a class photo together. So make your way up, you ladies and gents. As they're making their way, I'd like to remind you all that it is daylight savings this evening, so if you could make sure to set your clock back an hour so you can be on time for our meeting